conceal. So that was my first mistake.
And by the way, that gun is actually unloaded.
By the range, yeah. And then for YouTube purposes, it should show that unloaded. And we're going to clear it. Visually checked.
Do you want to turn around and then do the reverse?
Yeah, I can lock it back. There's a mag, easier to lock it back with because
And you want to show the other side?
yeah. Unloaded visually through. And then yeah, you don't flag me with it.
You can see it's open.
There's nothing in it. I've already double checked.
Yeah. And if I could rotate this gun like this, you see it's always slide.
Yeah. Yep, and so that's the gun, and we'll be cleaning it in the next video up. But I wanted to go over a little bit of the range. That's the first boo-boo I made. Point your gun, unloaded or not, in safe direction, which I made that rule boo-booed again. But, so this was the first mistake I made, was bringing that. This is great for deep concealment, but not on the range. Range play, this is not the greatest holster. This is more so leave it in there until you need it. Oh yeah, duh. Our next video is going to be about cleaning this, because I didn't have it cleaned before I came to the range. He told me, thank God it's a Glock, because you can fire it clean or not, right from the store. But other show pieces like what he had, you can't really fire at the range without cleaning them first, or they'll really screw up.
The manufacturers will actually tell you, please clean your guns for the first time before you fire.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. It's a recommendation, not saying you have to.
Yeah, but I probably should have.
There's actually I believe there's actually 5 guns that actually tell you have to clean it. It's not a recommendation. You have to.
Yeah. So I did surprisingly better at the range than I thought I would this time around. I figured I'd miss at least 5 or 6 or something. So even with the gun fresh out of the factory, not cleaned, I shot 31 times and only missed twice, and had 1 malfunction or 1 misfire on the entire range. I could go over with it. Should we go down this list?
Yeah, you can go through the list.
So first one was on target but to the right, so it would have been the right lung. Nailed that there, and the way he said it, he wants anywhere on target. You're supposed to aim for the center piece, of course, but anywhere you hit on target, you have to follow that hole through for the rest of your shots. That becomes your new target. So I shot here, middle of my bigger lung on the right side. All of my preceding shots, at least in an 8-shot spread, or the rest of that magazine worth, have to follow right there where that shot is, and stay on target within that shot. I shot here, so I had a small grouping. I had round and thinner. This thing jumps a little more than your 21 does, and it was I was expecting it to be somewhat snappy, but not like it was. So when I first fired and the thing jumped clear up, I was like, okay, we got a new problem. Well, not a new problem, but a new something to keep getting used to. So my second shot, I over anticipated, and the thing went clear. I made a miss right over the shoulder where I was trying not to. Like it's almost like my mind said, okay, you're trying not to go over the shoulder, we're gonna go over the shoulder. And over the shoulder I went, and he's like, you're way over anticipating that recoil. You just found out it's so snappy. And the gun is kind of snappy. It's not a beginner's gun. To start off as a right beginner, you should probably be on a smaller caliber, like a 22 or 9mm. Work your way up to 45, and then work into a concealed 45. I've done the 9mm for an hour a long time ago when I very first started. Carried a 45 for the active duty, for the service for the cops, and both joining the Army when I was training for that. And then, so I was used to a 45 already, so at least I had that going for me, but that concealed 45 is a bit snappy.
And just to let you people know, so if you really want to learn a gun and stuff for a handgun, a 22 gun will be actually cheap. Yeah, the gun might be a little expensive, but the ammunition and stuff is actually the cheapest that you can get.
Yeah. Well, yeah. 9mm would be more comparable. He said it's 30 cents a bullet roughly versus $1 bullet for a 45.
And for you people to know that, yeah, you can reload this. Yeah, this is a bullet.
Yeah.
You can reload that, but when you come out to the same cost, the 22 bullet will be still out far way the cost of a reloading.
And then a 9mm in any caliber, less than what I've got will be less recoil too. So the way the range works is they were set up at 3 foot, 5 foot, 7 foot, 15 foot, and 25 foot. Every time you miss, you have to drop back to the next marker. So if I miss at 3 foot, I have to drop back to 5. So on my third shot, since I missed the second shot, I had to drop back to 5 feet. And 5 and 6 were both a hit at, I'm at 3 and 4, my bad. So number 1 went to the high shoulder, went to the shoulder, and I had to match that. Number 2 went over the shoulder, that was a miss, and those were both at 3 feet. So then I had to back up to 5 feet, and number 3 and number 4 were both a hit at 5 feet. I had no problems hitting 5 feet right here in a small tight group where I had that hole at. And then number 5, he told me to go back to the 7 foot. So even though I didn't miss, he told me to drop back 2 more feet since I hit 2 on the 5. He wanted me to drop back to make it more difficult. So I dropped back to the 7 foot, and I actually nailed a neck shot right here, which would have killed whoever. But that was accidental. I was aiming for here, that grouping, and I hit here. But it wasn't, what they call a bonus shot, because it would have been a neck shot kill. And then number 6 was a hit down here where I was supposed to be at, since I'm following that hole. And so when I hit number 6, I had hit 2 at 7 foot, so he moved me back again to the 15 foot marker, and I hit number 7 at 15 foot out right here in that same grouping, all within kind of between a fist size and somewhat of a baseball cap size. I was pretty tight grouping on that, which we were both kind of surprised about because of. And then at this point, he had me stop for a minute, and we went over what this was all about. And he said, from my draw, coming up, coming to here, coming out and up, was all messed up. So at this point, he thought I might be lying about talking about being a cop in the process and all that, because I was more showing signs of beginner until I got to the point of aim, and then all of those hits happened in a tight grouping, and he was like, yeah, you've handled the 45 before. So at aim onward, I'm pretty damn good. The draw all the way up to your stance, all the way to the trigger finger to the aim, I gotta work on that, because I was pretty sloppy, but it's been 20 years. So we went over that, and then I went for hit at number 8. The 8th round I shot was a hit at 15 feet. And then he went cold on the range again. And then when we went to go reload the mags, I caught him purposely misfeeding a mag, misfeeding the bullet into the mag, because one sat up higher than the other one and was half in, half out. And he did that on purpose. He was trying to cause a misfire so he could show me how to unload it and fix the misfire. But like I told him a long time ago,
kind of like that.
My sergeant always said the first rule of thumb is every gun you come up to, whether you left it alone for 5 seconds, went around the corner and came back, you have to clear it again, because you cannot trust that this is clear. Even with it slide locked open like this, someone could have put something in there while you were gone because it left your vision.
Or even if you set it down.
Yeah. You just never know what could have happened because you left that side of that gun. You have to treat it like it's loaded. Again, clear it.
Even if it's for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Always clear it. And the second rule that my sergeant had was the same with mags. If you didn't load it yourself, somebody's most likely screwing with you. And sure enough, he was trying to screw with me on purpose to misfire it. Because this is another instructor. It's a common instructor trick because they want it to misfire at least once, so that they can see how you handle the misfire. But I caught him doing it.
And usually if there's a group of people and they're well aware and stuff, you might want to say misfire, misfire, misfire. That means you're telling people your gun's now in danger of exploding.
That's another good point to point out. There were supposed to be 5 people. I was the only one who showed up and didn't cancel. So it was just me and him one-on-one on the range, but that's another good thing you pointed out. So I got to have a little bit more one-on-one time with him, which I was kind of happy to have anyway. So I get to learn more. So the rules to line up for the next mags is that we've loaded 2 mags. I have 1 in the gun. We're ready to go on the range again. And shot number 9 onward, the rules are the range is going hot in a minute, shoot where you're at until you miss, or I call out retreat. If you miss, fall back. If I call out retreat, you're going to fall back. Try to get faster on your follow through and stop anticipating the recoil. We are practicing retreating while firing. So the first mag, I just got to stand there and make my shots and try to keep that tight grouping. And that's just wanted to see how I handle the gun. The second group here now is practicing retreating, like you're like
Pretend use this as pretend you're retreating.
Yeah. So,
Retreat.
So
Pretend you're retreating.
it was more so with the gun. So every time you retreat, you try to stay on target, but you got to keep your gun up to your chest like this to come back, so your gun is sturdy, still on aim, and then back out again like this. And we were doing that as I was going back to the marker every time he said to go back, or if I missed, I have to go back. So in the rule, or in the range, I did rounds 9 through 18 that way, and we'll go down them. So number 9 was a hit at 3 feet. Number 10 was a hit at 3 feet. Number 11 was a miss, went right, went high left, and high over the target. So I completely missed that one. It either went way over or it went way over left. And because I missed it at 3 feet, I got to drop back to 5. Drop back to 5, I hit 5 and 5 again. Then he yelled out retreat and find cover at 7. He's shooting back at you, you know, as if the target's shooting back at you now. So I had to duck. They had like a barrel thing there, and I had to duck. I wish I could have made a video of it. I asked him about leaving my phone as a camera to pick up to make a video of it.
Here's a barrel, so he's ducking.
Yeah, but he didn't want me to make a video. I tried. But anyway, I shot 2 at 5 and made it. He told me to retreat and find cover at 7 feet. I shot 2 at 7 feet and hit both of those. He yelled retreat to 15 foot out. Your target is shooting back at you again. So I had to duck for cover at 15 feet and then reacquire the target for 2 more, and I actually hit those 2 more because he's trying to screw me up, and so far it was just hit after hit.
Sorry about that. It's a fly.
I was kind of impressed. I was just hit after hit instead of missing another one there. I figured for sure he'd screw me up there. As jumpy as this gun was, I was amazed I didn't miss more, because it would jump up and then I got to reacquire and jump up. And it was a bit more recoil than I was used to, and I was surprised that I did as good as I did. Then, of course, I ran out. It went break for reload, and the range is cold. Then, when we reloaded, he wanted me to forget about the spread that I had here that I kept trying to shoot at, and wants me to reacquire in the center mass, because basically all this was clean, and that was all holes, because I did a pretty tight grouping right there. So he told me to forget about that and go back to center mass. Practice my follow through. Want to see as fast repeat shots as you feel comfortable with doing. Same rules as the first time. If you miss, you fall back to the next marker. So this wasn't a full-on retreat. He wasn't yelling at me or nothing, but he just wanted me to practice at center mass, and then if I miss, come back all the way through without having to duck for cover or nothing, without having to active shoot, you know, like if somebody's shooting it back at you. Because he wanted to see this whole thing was just how fast I can operate this with the recoil. He wanted it boom, 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 and he showed me with his gun he wants this just about as fast as I can get on target and get around that recoil, because this is pretty snappy.
And by the way, for the 2 out of 31 shots he missed, it's the 96%. He's claiming 98%, but when you do the math, it's a 96%.
And so the other reason he wanted me to go fast and everything was that I'd be sitting there considering how to do all this and whatever, and he could cause a misfire in the mag that I reloaded on purpose. So my first 3 shots were hit. 4th one was misfire. Range had to go cold, you know, misfire range goes cold, clear the range. Keep your weapon pointed down at the target for 30 seconds in case it decides to hot fire later, because it might still be doing its thing, you know, if something decides to go off. After 30 seconds, we're pretty clear the gun's not going to go off again by itself. Wanted me to eject the mag. I had to do it kind of backwards because I'm left-handed. If your preference, if you're right-handed, would be to jump it over that way, and you'd have, you know, well, I can do it right-handed and show you.
You can demonstrate by taking this, but don't fully slide in, and then you act like you
Yeah,
discharge.
so it would become, I'd hit the eject, it would come out. If I was right-handed, I have to do it backwards because I'm left-handed. This would comes out no problem with your left hand. And I don't know if you can see, but if anything was locked in here, when I bring the slide back out, they have this little notch here on purpose so it'll drop out. But it's only to the right side that'll drop out, but I'm left-handed. So I was stuck doing this, coming out right-handed. It doesn't come out the notch. So he told me when that situation happens, I'm going to have to go like that. Because there's the only way to do it the way Glock is designed. It's designed kind of for right-handers here. It's got ambidextrous options for everything else. But if you get a misfire, I'm going to have to do this. So I'm going to have to shift all the way over. Because I'm left-handed. Unless I'm shooting right when it happens. So we cleared it, shake it up, everything, made sure visually and manually inspect everything's clear. Switch to a different mag. You do not want to put the same mag that malfunctioned back in there, because you never know if everything else is screwed up, blah, blah, blah. You're in the middle of a gunfight. Hopefully you have another mag ready. Stick a different mag in there and go at it again. But do not put that same mag back in. Unless that's your only option. If it's potentially damaged mag or no bullets, obviously you want to at least try and get by with it. But hopefully you have a reloadable mag ready.
If it's the same mag that constantly misfires, get a new mag,
Yeah.
and then get rid of your one that
and one
keeps
thing
misfiring.
he did point out to avoid that, when you load it, you want to go as far back in as you can. He had it halfway out on purpose so that it would not hit the primer. And the one thing about 45 is it's easier to do that than 9mm. I guess 9mm is longer and thinner, so it's a little harder to do that. But with 45, you can easily misfire it. Or instructors can play with it and easily misfire it. That's the one thing about 45 that he liked, because he could misfire me. And he got me good, even though I called him out on the second mag. On the third mag, I was so concentrated on my recoil that he got me. Which I guess was good to handle a misfire. So he went through the steps on how to handle misfire. The range went hot again, and he wanted me to start back at 7 feet, and he wants me to shoot 2 and come back to 15 feet if I miss, or come back to 15 feet afterwards. So 2 rapid fires together. So I was ready to shoot at 7-7, and he's wanting to see that my trigger finger was doing this, because I need to get in the habit of doing this instead of just because this is the bad I have it to get into. Because you want to be able to, if the target's down, you want to automatically have your finger come back up. So the idea was I hit the first at 7, and with a 45 caliber weapon, the target ought to go down about anywhere you hit somebody. And so your finger's supposed to come back up, so we wanted to see this automatically go back up, and I did do it without thinking about it. But he didn't even mention that or nothing, because he just wanted to see if my finger would do it. If I was recognizing the finger control, because I was having a problem with that before.
Alright, this video is getting a little bit long. We're almost at 22 minutes.
Just a little bit here. Then he had me test 2 of them at 25 feet. Same thing. He wanted to see 2 at 25 feet as fast as I could on the recoil. Then he went behind his pickup and told me to take my time, get all nice and ready, do whatever I want to do. He was going to go behind his pickup so the pressure's off. Range is hot, whenever you can do it. I want you to hit that bullseye. I could not believe it. I not only hit the bullseye the first time, but I put a half a hole through where I was trying to hit the second time. The same bullseye, the same hole. At 25 feet, which I was shocked with the size of a gun.
You would have been even more shocked if you got the same hole.
Yeah, so I did way better than I thought I would. I thought it'd be at least 6 misses. But somehow, maybe that recoil jumps me enough to get me with it or something. But I shot 31 times, and I only missed 2. So the very last 2 were my 2 shots that I wanted to do. I wanted to practice one non-dominant hand, because we always did that as a cop at the end of your shot. You want to try and practice your weapon non-dominant hand, because in case somebody gets something damaged on your hand, you want to occasionally try your non-dominant hand. So I asked him to do that, and he said that was going to be his next thing anyway, was to practice non-dominant. So I kind of reminded him of it. And then so I practiced one one full metal jacket that I've been shooting with. There's the range ammo, non-dominant hand, and I went upper right, which is the target's upper left, and accidentally nailed a hard shot, or pretty damn close to a hard shot. We both figured. So I had the bonus shot of the neck and the bonus shot of the heart. on complete accident because I wasn't aiming for that.
And then here's the other bullet that he's
And
going to
then
use.
very last shot is my regular concealed carry self-defense round that I want to carry that's not range ammo, that's a hollow point. I wanted to test how that works in this gun, just in case. I mean, I knew it would most likely work the same, but you always want to test it, so I used one up doing that. And that was the range, and it took us probably about as long as we made this video, give or take, something like that. I mean, it might took us.
We're at 24 minutes now.
Yeah, so we were out there probably a little over half an hour or something like that. We were pretty fast. We were much faster than normal people because he said he would have to go over this again between 30 rounds and 50 rounds with most other people who have not been to the range. And I made 31 shots and only missed 2.
Even if I sign up for the class and stuff, I probably know a little bit. There's almost like the same what Grant has, same knowledge and stuff, so he doesn't have to go through it over again, say,
But
30 rounds, 40 rounds, 50 rounds.
he told me, of course, he's a 9mm fanboy, so he told me 9mm full-sized gun I would be completely deadly with, and that's what I should try and pack around in the wintertime when you can conceal carry something bigger. If I considered switching to 9mm. Because I am pretty damn good with a really, really snappy concealed 45.
And before you actually buy a gun, go to the gun store and ask, can I hold this? Can I feel the gun and stuff?
Yeah, especially get your grip right, because this one doesn't quite fit me. It works enough to do it, but that's the idea behind it, is it works enough to do it. But I had a 21, which was full-size 45 out, and then at Cabela's in Arizona, and then I had this one out, but I did not compare them side by side, and I should have compared them.
And that's his own mistake and stuff.
Yeah. This works for what I want it to do, and I'm more proficient with it than I thought I would be, but it's pretty snappy. I just got to keep in mind that the recoil on it is a good inch. But I mean, some of that's my stance, my not being on a gun in the last 20 years. Some of that will get better the more I do it. But it shocked me how much it moved. It was like almost like a 357 snub nose revolver or something. You know, I shot them before and they do that too. I was surprised that this 45 did that because my service weapon would only go a little bit. This one went woo. I was not expecting that.
Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.
Yeah.